Greetings and shalom. So the new movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, is coming out next year. I do believe May 24th. But like I've stated in many of my videos, the apes metaphorically representing the so-called blacks or the Israelites of the scriptures. Okay, here are a few examples of why I attest to this. So now we're going to look up the word juxtaposition. Now, the fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effects. The juxtaposition of these two images, similar, comparison, contrast, proximity, nearness, closeness. As we can see in the still shot, we notice that the director has the ape and a so-called black man. And interesting enough, his character name is Jacob. So what are they trying to convey to the audience?
I'm sick of niggas. It's like I come to work. It's Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes.
Now, as we just stated in the earlier juxtaposition or the still shot, right here we have Mr. LeBron James and a comic cover of Planet of the Apes. Notice the woman in the green dress, blonde hair, blue-eyed, and the ape with a gun. Now we have Mr. LeBron James with a basketball. And it states contrast, the state of being strikingly different from something else in juxtaposition or close association. Get it now?
I don't like being around them. The animals.
That's about race, but the human race. No. It's about the white man's fear of a black planet. The darker apes are bigger and stronger. The lighter apes are smarter. Just racist bullshit. Do you realize that the original Planet of the Apes came out on April 3rd, 1968? Now, we both know what happened the next day. Martin Luther King was killed.
As we can see, the same actor played Dr. Martin Luther King in the movie Rise in the Planet of the Apes. Very contrasting, right? So we all should be aware of subliminal messages, how your subconscious mind controls your behavior and feelings. Subliminal, of stimulus or mental process below the threshold of sensation or consciousness perceived by or affecting someone's mind without their being aware of it. Similar, subconscious, unconscious, hidden, keyword, hidden, and concealed. So oftentimes they conceal the greater message within these movies.
What I'm saying is, it's not a coincidence that a movie about niggas taking over the world
It's not a coincidence that a movie about niggas taking over the world.
So now we're at Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And according to the scriptures, the saints are who? The Israelites. So now we're at Isaiah chapter 14:1 and 2. For the Lord or Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord or Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, and whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So now we're at Isaiah chapter 54, verse 3. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed, meaning what? The progeny of Jacob, or the 12 tribes, shall inherit the Gentiles, the non-Israelite or heathenistic nations, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. So in this old 18 or 1900 Zondervan dictionary, it states, the God of heaven shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Okay, as you can see on the illustration, It is no longer merely a garden as Eden, but a heavenly city and garden combined, nature and art, no longer mutually destructive.
When I sleep, I see strange things.
Memories?
Not memories. New things. I see everything.
That is not everything.
The Bible is the most decontextualized book on the face of the planet. Now, as we can see right here in this still shot, we have the so-called Caucasian or so-called white man, aka the wild man. So you had certain subgroups of the so-called Caucasians or aka the wild men of the quote-unquote dark ages. They were in their bestial state, meaning what? It was very dormant or in a debased state of mind.
My own son was a soldier with one of the units. One day he suddenly stopped speaking. He became primitive, like an animal. They contacted me and said that they thought he lost his mind, that the war was too much for him. Then the man who cared for him stopped speaking too. Their medic had a theory before he stopped speaking, that the virus that almost wiped us out, the virus that every human survivor still carries, had suddenly changed, mutated. And that if it spread, it would destroy humanity for good this time. Not by killing us, but by robbing us of those things that make us human. Our speech, our higher thinking would turn us into beasts.
Beast.
Now we're at Job chapter 30. The Caucasian Edomites, aka the wild man of the dark ages, they were driven to the bottomless pit, aka the Caucasus Mountains. And it states, they were driven out from among men. They shouted at them as at a thief. They had to live in the clefts of the valleys, in caves of the earth, in the rocks, among the bushes they brayed. Keyword braid. Under the nettles they nestled. They were the sons of fools, yes, sons of vile men. They were scourged from the land. Okay? Hebrews 12 and 16. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person like Esau, aka the white man or the Caucasian, who for one morsel of food sold his birthright. For you know that afterward, when he wanted to inherit the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place for repentance, though he sought it diligently with tears. And as we can see on the precepts right here in 16, number 1, the profane, meaning what? Esau or the Caucasians were godless. Our ancestors had to teach them the law, the Torah, and the Hebrew scriptures. Now we have this book, The Wild Man, Medieval Myth and Symbolism by Timothy Husband. Although the wild man, aka the Caucasian, could hardly be suspected of overweening faith, medieval authors stress not that the wild man was without belief in God, but that he was utterly without knowledge of him.